See, what did I tell you? Always does it. Hello and welcome back to another episode of the LOC Report. We're into the third week of the LOC season. So we've got a good show for you today. Looking back at week 2 and obviously looking forward to week 3, which is also a Wembley week. So that's going to be fun. But first of all, introductions. We have the co-host back again. Not being messed around by security guards and hot people on holiday.
Nope.
So how's it going, co-host Leach?
It's going well. It's going well. I'm very pleased to be here. It is always a thrill to be with you.
And as you can see, we're back in Leach Studios for another show.
Another one.
And I will just record on my phone, as per usual, just as a backup, as ever since the fateful day I did not record a podcast for whatever reason. Last time we had a little technical blip here, but it came back to us. It was fine. The stream was just fine.
It's good.
And before we get into the thick of it, I will just check. I've already got a notification, so I'm fairly sure we're live. Happy and dandly. And we absolutely are, so that's all good news.
Fantastic.
So, and you heard us on the feedback right now. High quality viewing right here.
Yes,
but hey, I think it's better as a live show now, right? Okay, we lose some of the preparedness and some of the technical edges, I guess, but
yes.
You get to interact with us, which is the best thing.
Absolutely.
All my self-viewing, that one viewer there, which is presumably just me. If it's not me, say hello and always comment. We interact with you throughout the show, so please get involved. However, we will just start the show as normal and as we usually do, as is the case in the NFL on almost a daily basis. We'll start with the injury news.
Oh yes, lots of this week.
Lots of this week.
So much.
And we'll circle back after this. Actually, no, we'll do it on my team review because something funny dawned on me. And
okay.
We'll go with it. So, first of all, Gridiron Gang lost Greg Olsen for, well, I guess 8 weeks because he broke a bone in his foot on a non-contact play, which was less than ideal.
Well done, Greg.
Marking the second straight week that I had a player get injured in the first half. So
yes. Just
what else? Rex Burke had also had a rib injury. He's yet to practice this week, so I don't anticipate him missing this weekend's games. Corey Coleman also broke his hand again, and this time he needs surgery, so he's out for a minimum of 8 weeks. He's been placed on IR. That's my third IR player, I think, now.
Ouch. You've been decimated this year.
I have been decimated, yeah. It's not been ideal. And we'll come back to that, because what I realised is quite funny.
Okay.
Funny and depressing. The Dream Team, Jordan Howard, he went into the game with a slightly bad shoulder. He left the game with the shoulder in a sling. He only got 7 yards and he didn't do much because of it. I think he's been limited this week. He might be back. Not sure what happens.
I wouldn't risk it.
Yeah. Odell Beckham, he, however, did come back last week from his high ankle sprain. Didn't do very much. Don't know if that was so much him, still coming back, or Eli Manning being Eli Manning. And the Giants' offense just being genuinely inept.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see. He'll play this week, though. We'll just have to see if he's a step better. Jordan Reed, he's dicey at the moment. I'd say he took a chest injury. I have all sorts of reports. It went from chest to ankle to concussion, everything basically, which is pretty much the story of Jordan Reed, if we're being honest.
Absolutely.
So keep an eye on him. I believe he was limited today, but don't take my word for that.
Every week.
Yeah, exactly. So he might not suit up on Sunday. No. But of course, I have yet to mention the podcast, but I've been doing it. I will obviously do the Sunday weekly status reports now. Just a quick overview of, at the time of writing them, what the latest news is and what the latest outlook. Because I always put a disclaimer on it because, I don't want to be the one, I put that on there to say, okay, this is to help you, but don't take it as the be-all and end-all. If a guy doesn't play or a guy does play and you haven't changed it or it changed afterwards, it's not my fault. I'm trying to help you, but at the end of the day, it's up to you.
You've got to do your own research.
Exactly.
Ultimately, yeah.
Exactly. Kendall Wright as well, he's a limited participant. That's probably because he just sucks at football, so we'll see if he plays this week. I imagine he probably will.
So do the Bears, in fairness.
Yeah, they do.
Oh, man. You're your number one receiver, dear me.
Thank you for Tankface. Marco Murray did not practice. He's got a hamstring injury. Did not play a lot on Sunday, and he might not play this weekend. One to keep an eye on.
Yes.
Rob Kelly, he also suffered an injury. I believe that was a rib injury as well.
That's right.
Again, he's limited, so he might play this weekend. Just one to keep an eye on. Charles Clay, he's limited as always with, I don't know, I think it's a knee or a shoulder or something, but he'll probably end up playing. Southampton Knowles, Jamal Charles did not practice. He's a veteran. He just gets rest days at this point. Jarvis Landry did not practice. He's continuing that return from a knee injury. He played last week and he did quite well.
Yeah.
He had good run numbers for a running back, so fair play to him. And by that I mean he had like 15 catches for like an average of 3.9 or something crazy. But he hasn't practiced, but he should be back. Jimmy Graham, he also suffered an injury last week. I think that was like a chest injury or something.
Yeah, he was hobbling off.
Yeah, but I believe he came back. So even though he did not practice, he's another kind of injury-prone player, but he should be okay. I'd imagine he will play. Matt Forte, full participant in practice, probably just a rest day again for an old man. The bare necessities. Randall Cobb did not practice. He left the game partway through against Atlanta on Sunday Night Football. I can't remember if he came back into the game or not. He's still not practicing, and again, he's another one of these guys that is often banged up throughout the season, so I want to keep an eye on there as well. Alan Hearns, full participant. Don't know what that's about, but he'll probably play. But then there's Kelvin Benjamin. He took a nasty hit in Sunday's game. It was really more of like a nasty sandwich.
That sounds great.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it.
No.
I mean, again, I think he came back into the game, not practicing, but I think he'll probably suit up. Danny Amendola did not play on Sunday, but he's a limited participant. I believe he's been practicing the last 2 days on a limited basis, coming back from that knee and concussion injury. I think he'll be okay for this weekend.
They need him.
Yep, they certainly do, because we have about one healthy wideout on the roster. I'm the next one to come up and play for the Patriots.
You watch this guy. He's going.
Sign me up, add me.
He can play with Tom Brady. Anybody can.
I can. I just did that. Cam Newton, limited participant. I imagine that's still the shoulder stuff, but he did get pretty banged up in last week's game as his O-line decided to turn into one of those turnstiles when you go through the underground? Yeah, that's what his offensive line was basically.
Oh dear.
You just present your card. There you go.
Straight
through. But he'll probably play this weekend.
Guys, they're going to get ripped off as well, though. If you've been trying to go through them ticket barriers with an Oyster card, mate, you get canned. That's it. I mean, say these guys in the NFL, they're going to get paid a lot.
It's all about contactless card. It costs nothing. It's like £3 to go to and back from Wembley from Hillingdon.
Travel tips, people. Travel tips. If you
don't just get fancy advice on this show. You get life tips.
Go into the Wembley game. Hillingdon to Wembley, £3 round trip, done.
And the parking's only £2 on a weekend for all days.
Is it really?
Oh,
this guy, he knows.
What has happened here? That's curious. Okay, apologies, technical issues with my phone. Right, there we are. Terrence West, he suffered, I think it was a hamstring injury in Sunday's game. Has not practiced yet. Soft tissue ones can be tricky, especially for running backs. So I don't think he'll play this weekend personally.
Ouch.
We'll have to see, and that sucks because he's playing. He was going to be playing in the Wembley game for Tom. So we'll have to see if he suits up. Amari Cooper, he's a limited participant as per usual. Andrew Luck, he's already been ruled out for week 3, still not practicing, and probably not looking good for week 4. Ultimately, I think it would still be surprising to see him at all in the next few weeks.
Yeah.
Don't know why the Colts didn't put him on PUP, but that's neither here nor there. Chris Thompson, full participant, but he should be good to go.
Mega. It's going to say he must just be tired out after his weekend last week.
Had a good day.
Yeah.
Ben Roethlisberger did not practice, probably just a rest day. Sean McCoy also did not practice, I think also probably just a rest day.
Just a rest day. After all that work he did on Sunday.
Tyler Eifert did not practice. That was not a rest day. He's dealing with some injury.
Oh man, he's hurting all over this guy. Back, leg.
What is it with tight ends being injured all the time?
That's it. I think it's just I don't know, but I don't know what it is about that position, but maybe they're just asked to do too much.
I think they've got to obviously be really big, strong, which puts a lot of pressure on the body in the first place, and they're also taking lots of hits from the linebackers and safeties, which are a lot harder hitting than your cornerbacks, obviously. So probably doesn't help, and obviously they're blocking D linemen half the time as well, which those guys are pretty big as well. So not a fun job to be a tight end.
No.
Corey Davis, he suffered a hamstring injury. He won't play this weekend. That's you done. No clean bills of health this week. This is rather disappointing.
Yeah.
Jordy Nelson left Sunday's game with a quad injury, but I've been seeing reports he'll be playing this weekend. So he's a full participant. So probably will be there.
He'll be doing very well if he does.
Yeah. Jay Ajayi, he did not participate. I think he still has that knee issue. Obviously, coming out of college, the reason he fell to the 5th round was worries about microfractures in the knee, so it's probably stuff stemming for that, but ultimately I think he'll play. Doug Baldwin did not practice, again, probably just a rest day. Nearly there. ADRZ, Rob Gronkowski had got a groin injury late in Sunday's game, but even though he hasn't practiced, I think he may have got a limited session in today. He'll probably play on the weekend. Kind of need him to. Pakistan, Chris Hogan, he also was hobbling by the end of the game against the Saints on the Sunday, but he's limited. He's probably going to be okay. Devontae Parker also limited. I think that might be a knee thing. He should be fine. Kenny Britt, he was a full participant, probably because, he just couldn't be bothered. I don't know if you saw the famous play on Sunday where him and Sammy Coates basically just gave up on a 4th down play, which was great. So.
That's the kind of spirit you see at the Browns.
Wasn't even a beatdown. They were only 2 scores down, and it was the 4th quarter.
That's it.
Don't know why they're walking routes at that stage.
That's it. That's it. It's not the worst they're ever going to get beaten this year, to be quite frank.
Yes. Right, so now we'll get to the waivers, and bear with me here, because sadly it's no longer as easy as just looking down the list, because that doesn't give us any details on amounts bid, and that's what we want. So
that's it.
We have to do this the hard way. So, starting off here, well, there were actually a few trades that I guess we should backtrack and cover slightly, all done by myself. So, first of all, I traded Matt Forte to the Southampton Arms for Adrian Peterson. Then I didn't want Matt Forte. I picked him up. I was like, why did I pick him up?
Somebody obviously, where is it, Rossi?
Yeah, to be fair, he got like 10 points, but how often is he going to do that? And, anyway.
Quite.
I rather would have taken the theoretical upside on Peterson at that point of, being Peterson in a high-powered offense, but hey-ho.
About that, yeah.
Yeah, never mind. I also traded Adam Hearns to bare necessities for Theo Riddick, and I then traded the injured Greg Olsen for Charles Clay.
I don't get why Phil took that one.
I mean, he's going to come back in week 11. I think they've got a bye then, so he'll be available week 12.
Yeah.
He's going to sit on your way. It was Phil's second time, and from his point of view, I guess he didn't have anyone on reserve.
I suppose it's true.
I just wanted to get something for him. Obviously, otherwise I was carrying an injured tight end on my team, which, carrying 2 tight ends at the best of times is not ideal. When one of them is injured, that's even less ideal.
No.
So I think I nearly got Carson Wentz as well by chucking in Carson Palmer. So I nearly silver-tongued my way to a nice little deal, but never mind. So that was the trades funds, 3 so far. We said trades would be on the up. All of them have been me.
Well, you need to get...
I'm getting creative. It's
necessity is
another reason. Down, yeah.
Yeah.
Injuries have forced my hand more than anything. Yeah,
I would say so.
Which again, as I say, we'll come back to.
I tell you what, though. I mean, if I see any more trades from you, I see these players like, yeah, that's it. Let's trade him. Let's trade him. Oh man, that's it. It is rather like going to a car boot sale, and then you end up trading your hard-earned money for someone's second-hand offcuts.
Hey. I'm not a business management student for nothing. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, your hard sell is. I suppose it is selling to super people would be.
No, I wouldn't say all of it's bad. I think the Forte Peterson one was on par. I just didn't want Forte.
It's like for like. I suppose.
The Hearns Riddick one. Hearns scored a touchdown. I needed a running back.
That's it. Those aren't the stupid people I'm talking about.
Oh, okay.
These aren't the stupid people I'm talking about. They're fair game. But in anybody's right mind, why would you trade for an injured player who may or may not return this season?
No one took the bait on Corey Coleman. I was quite disappointed.
Well, that's the.
I thought I could get something.
Where were you, Phil? Have you got a receiver on your bench that may or may not play? Well, this guy wants it.
I sure do. Why is my thing not recording on here? What's this happening?
I don't really know.
Oh, it stopped after 17 seconds. Oh well, we're all good on.
We're already on here. We're already live action.
Yeah. So anyway, we'll get to the actual waivers now. So
yes.
First of all, Gridiron Gang added JJ Nelson and dropped aforementioned Corey Coleman.
Oh well.
And Gridiron Gang added JJ Nelson for $7.
Only 7.
Only 7.
That's a good steal.
That's a good deal. I was listening to the CBS Sports Fantasy podcast today.
Yes, Jamie Eisenberg loves him.
And they were saying, I think, 15, 20 plus. So,
yeah.
I guess it's going to take time for our league to maybe adjust to this properly, but it doesn't. I think what's benefited is not everyone is doing it every week at the moment.
That's right.
Maybe just because they're saving them. I don't know why, whatever. But hey ho.
I know I haven't spent anything yet.
No, you haven't. You're one of the few who hasn't.
I don't need to.
What else happened? So, Thomas Clarence added the Steelers D and dropped Jamal Williams. That was for 3. No, sorry, got that wrong. They added Chris Johnson and dropped Jamal Williams for $6. Now, funny back insight on this because myself and Tom actually both bid 6.
Right.
And I didn't realise, no one really realised, that obviously there is still a waiver priority. You could see it on the standings.
Yeah.
And I just assumed, like probably most everyone else just assumed, that your waiver priority would only get reset in the case of a tiebreaker, which to me sounds logical.
Yeah.
But in actual fact, it resets every time you claim the guy.
Ah.
So going forward, keep that in mind because that might make you just bid that extra $1 more. Tom got him on the priority because I obviously got JJ Nelson first, so oh well.
That's it.
Way.
Absolutely. You know what? Well, I can only hope that he enjoys his new player.
Yes.
Because Chris Johnson. Chris Johnson.
He should be the lead running back, to be fair. Might get a goal line carry here or there.
He is a legend.
He's nearly at 10,000 yards. He's got that motivation.
I'm not going to knock him. Obviously, wearing a Titans jersey, I'm not going to knock the guy because he's a legend. But yeah, let's see how they work in that 3-man committee they've got.
Yeah, sure. Just did that. So Pakistan added Pittsburgh Steelers D for $3 and dropped the Raiders D. Pittsburgh are playing Chicago this week. Good deal for $3 for maybe a 1-week rental.
I would think so. Yeah. So, I mean, the Bears had looked absolutely toothless last week.
This one you might have something more to say about. Marquise Lee was added by Pakistan for $3 and they dropped Kenny Britt.
What?
Yep, you heard that right.
You paid $3 for a third choice wide receiver. Congratulations.
I mean, Robinson's gone, so maybe he's second.
Maybe second.
On a team that
doesn't have a QB, really.
Ryan Nassib might be the QB of that team by the end of the season. There you go.
That's it. I mean, to be fair, is that better than any of the Browns? I mean, Kenny Britt is the number 1 receiver, though.
But, he doesn't run on plays anymore.
He doesn't care. He doesn't care. Marquise Lee cares. Or maybe he doesn't. I don't know. Maybe.
I wouldn't if what was thrown to me. Right. But then they added Jermaine Kearse for $1 and they didn't have to drop anyone.
Well, hey.
Gridiron Gang added Giovanni Bernard for $1 and dropped Adrian Peterson.
He traded for him, people. It was worth the trade.
It was worth the upside, and I saw I needed to see.
I got rid of Matt Forte for Giovanni Bernard. Is what you want to say?
I mean, with the new OC in Cincinnati, I wasn't going to do it, but then I read something about the new OC might actually, know how to run an offense. So I was like, worth a punt.
Well, yes.
He was Chip Kelly's understudy. He was his OC back in Philly. And if you remember, that was actually a good offense once upon a time. So he's at least going to spread the ball around and run a more up-tempo offense. Actually, you know what? He's just going to run 8 offense. I would settle for 8 offense at this point. So would Bengal fans.
I mean, to be fair, yes, that's true. However, I think people who have watched the NFL for a while would suggest that when the Phillies had, in that era that you suggested...
He was good at the start, Chip.
Oh, he was. But the backfield was... I had Ryan Matthews that year, so I know.
I think it was before that.
No. See, they had Sproles, Matthews, and one more.
Yeah, but that was Doug Pederson, not Chip Kelly.
Suppose. I don't know. They
still had Shady when Chip was there. So.
I'm still very sceptical.
He's better than Peterson. Right. Gridiron Gang also added Benjamin Watson and dropped Carson Palmer. They spent $0 on that one. What else was that? So I said that Bednaders added... Yeah, I covered that. Dream Team added Dolphins defense, who are playing the Jets, and dropped the Vikings defense.
Why wouldn't you?
Makes sense to me.
That's it.
Tugfards added Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense for nothing after putting Greg Olsen on IR. What else? They also added... who are they playing?
Can I just say that Tampa Bay, that is the most reactive move of the week. again, I know that Phil does this because form is key.
Who are Tampa playing?
Let's find out. Let's find out because
answer. Who has a Tampa player? Phil has.
Watch NFL games.
Or we could go on there.
Let's have a look. Let's not do that.
Just go on Phil's team.
Where is it? Tanky McTankface there.
There you go. Right.
Who are Tampa Bay playing? This is the question of the week. Bucks playing the Vikings.
No, that could be fine if they've got Case Keenum. If they've got Bradford, that's decidedly less fine.
Sit.
Tanky McTankface also added Mohamed Sanu and dropped Kenny Stills. And Gridiron Gang added Rashard Higgins and dropped Paul Perkins. And all those were for nothing.
Rashard Higgins for nothing.
He's the Browns' leading receiver now for whatever that's worth. I mean, Corey Coleman was okay actually when he didn't have a break in hand. So
it's better than Paul Perkins.
True, very true. So now we'll get into last week's recap and our game of the week last week. I think it was Bare Necessities Detonators. I'm gonna go with that.
Which it was. It lived up to its billing.
It did, and we'll cover that in a second. So, entering this game, what was Bare Necessities' record against Detonators? They were... Give me a second here. They were 4-7 heading into this game against Detonators. Two teams that have looked really good so far. One is very, very heavy on the Green Bay Packers.
I'd say.
They started five Packers players last week. Playing a Detonators team that's looked strong so far. However, Bare Necessities took it 126-115, and I guess you could call it a Sunday night comeback because they had 6 players playing in that game, so they only had about 50 points up to them.
Yeah.
And they ended up going all the way to 126.
They looked dead and buried. They did.
Do you want to tell me about the game?
I will.
Yeah.
I will. I mean, so they looked dead and buried, but I mean, as we say often, when a team goes off and you have all their players, then you're going to do very well. But when a team doesn't go off and you don't have all their players, and you do have all their players, rather, then you're not going to do very well. I think with the Packers, they're obviously very highly charged offense, and yes, they have always had the potential to do very, very well. However, I don't think Ollie would ever expect them to do quite this well. In fantasy perspective, anyway. I feel for Ollie because I think 115 points is a really good score considering that what he had.
I think it may have even been the second or third best of the week.
Yeah,
it was still one of a very, very good score.
100%.
Second best.
But to get 126, I mean that hurts. That hurts because there's nothing you can do about that. You've done all you can. I mean, let's be fair. Points wise, what have we got there?
Well, it was. When I say the Green Bay Packers, it was mainly just Rodgers and Montgomery that brought it back from that side. They had 23 each, effectively, and Devontae Freeman also had 22. So that's where really the bulk of that came from.
It's our holy trinity at the bottom.
Yeah.
The foundations.
And then Cobb, Bennett, and Crosby chipped in about 16 between them. Yeah. But Crabtree also got 26. He got 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I was going to say that's
crazy.
Hell a week for them. These weeks will happen, and I say Bare Necessity have proven that when everything goes their way, they will be able to. They are a force to be reckoned with. However, I don't think it's going to happen every week, and it all relies on the Packers. Take them while it comes.
Yeah, exactly. And on the other side of the ball, another solid week. Well, but then there's not really much more to say than that. So. But then Bare Necessities goes to 2-0, but then it's 1-1. Our next game then, we'll start back to the start here. Gridiron Gang against the Dream Team. Both these teams were searching for their first win entering the season, and we're about to hear my tidbit. Entering this game, Gridiron Gang were. Gridiron Gang were 3-4 against the Dream Team, so a pretty mixed record. But the Dream Team did take it, and what was really a low score. Both these teams looked horrendous for a while, but after a while, the Dream Team finally put it together, and they won it 86 to 67.
I say this in my analysis for 3 seasons, people. If you win a game and you score less than 90 points, something's very wrong. And this week was proven to be. Now, if you win with 86 points, it tends not to be the skill on your part. It tends to be kind of the opposition not doing quite so well.
Yeah, that's really
and
the case,
I mean, I think that's fair analysis, but unfortunately, I don't think that Gridiron Gang could have done a great deal about it in the sense that it was injuries, and it was already injuries before that, but this week was just ridiculous. So to score 66 points is not what you expect, but with an injury-ridden team, these things happen. It probably costs you, if it can cost you 5 points per injured player.
Yeah.
Then that's 4 players, and then that's your total. I don't think the Dream Team are going to be particularly pleased with this because there aren't that many injuries at all there. Yes, Odell's not firing at the moment. He's not very well. He's obviously not 100%, but that doesn't really make up for it. And earlier on in the season, we obviously, power rankings wise, we had Dream Team down as being one of the highest ranking teams in there.
On paper, it was
absolutely. And the paper you can throw out the window now because say that there is the pikiest of results that you're going to find. Yes, it's not. Well, it's not sneaky money, but we'll come to that. It's up there anyway. But as I say, it's okay to win, and it's good to get those kind of results, and you feel relieved by it. But there's absolutely no skill in, beating teams when you score less than 90 points.
Yeah, and we'll go into that now. So Breeze had, as expected, today 26 points. Anderson really had a nice day, 27 points. He was the one that effectively won this game for the Dream Team. Because outside of that, Matt Bryan got 14, which bumped them up nicely on Sunday Night Football. But other than that, not a single player got over 5 points.
It's not what's right over. Absolutely. And
so it was a dismal outing.
Yes, absolutely. And that's what you'll see. You won't get CJ Anderson scoring that sort of points. And you certainly won't get your kicker scoring that.
No. And on my side of the ball, pretty much more the same. I only had 2 players go over 10. Palmer, who got 18, and Des Bryant, who got 12, which is pretty good facing Denver. As Chris already said, the injury, I had Greg Olsen get injured in this game, and then it was just general. Not great around that. Now, here's my interesting tidbit that I realised.
Okay.
Right, so here we go.
Go on then.
Out of my first 4 picks,
yep,
only one of them has scored a touchdown so far.
Right.
That was Des Bryant this week.
Yep.
Bell has not started well. The other 3 receivers have, I think, Des had tough matchups. Cooks hasn't been, I guess, as involved as people expect. But you've got to think the game is going to come. And Demaryius Thomas has lost out on touchdowns effectively to Sanders thus far.
Yes.
My picks 5 through 7. Olsen is injured. Woodhead is injured. Perkins sucks. Picks 8 through 9 have yet to start. That's Burkhead due to uncertainty about workload. Just he was an upside pick. Stafford due to bad matchups. Though he had a great week 1. And then after that, from round 10 on, Coleman got injured. I think he was my 10th round pick. So that just goes that paints a picture of why I've had a bad start. To this
absolutely,
season.
and so when things like that happen, your season gets decimated. I know that you've viewers out there had this previous. It's not good, but ultimately it's about how you play the waivers, and if you can get some guys like JJ Nelson, who is a massive upside player, and you look at him in that offense this year, and it's starting to revolve around.
Well, I think the biggest part of it as well is Bell hasn't. He came into camp late. Obviously, I think it was always going to take a couple of weeks for him to get going.
Sure,
he will get going. And then the 3 receivers, I think better days are ahead, it's fair to say. Des is going to get easier matchups eventually. And then the other 2 are going to have their days as well.
Absolutely.
There's a reason they were ranked high. So I think, like you said, I think it's a slow start. Not all rosy. I've suffered, I think, 3 big injuries so far. 3 long-term big injuries. As you say, I brought options in to kind of bolster the side. So Chris Carson, obviously I added.
Chris
sneakily.
Carson. I think Chris Carson... Of the mess that's the Seattle backfield, Chris Carson can take that role because he looked like he did this week.
Yeah, even though Rawls was healthy. So that's that. So Dream Team at 1-1 now. Gridiron Gang 0-2. Next game, Tanky McTankfist against Southampton was a sneaky, underrated game here. Again, both of these teams entered the game without a win. The history of this matchup. What is the history of this matchup? Well, dear listeners, I'll let you know when my phone decides to cooperate with me. The history of this matchup is the great matchup. So Southampton Knowles are 4-3. No, that's the wrong team. It would help if I chose the right team. Where are they? Brady Ranch. Okay, we'll get that right. So Tuck Farts are 1-3 against the Brady Bunch all time, so not great. But it was a pretty close game, actually, in which Tanky McTankface edged it out 102-99. Good week by both teams.
Absolutely.
Tanky McTankface scored the win.
For the record, it would have been a travesty had Southampton Knowles won this game. Absolutely. I mean, we've said before that this team, Southampton Knowles, it's Brady or bust, and it absolutely is. So without the 36 points that Brady puts up this week, that team's done. That team is done from the start, because you look down, Jamal Charles not performing, T.Y. Hilton, bad QB, Jarvis Landry, he'll have better games, but again, Jay Cutler seems to want to throw at Devontae Parker. Tough luck. Jimmy Graham gets injured, Marvin Jones is average at best, and a fairly good week for his defence, special teams and kicker. Now, that's not going to happen every week, despite the fact that he has got Seattle and Gostkowski. However, on the other side, this is the week that Phil becomes reputable. Now, I put this on record here, because throughout the team, there's points. This is amazing for a Phil Merritt team, because from top to bottom, there's actually some potential. So you see Rivers scoring 19 points, but Wentz on the bench scores even more. DeMarco Murray, as a Tennessee fan, I know as much as anybody that he's on his way out. Derrick Henry's your man, but he might.
I think there might be a health thing that's been
possibly.
Murray.
Possibly, or, I just think that the management like Derrick Henry, and you can see why, because he's big, strong. He's got everything you want for a class running back, and he's not 30 years old. Kelly's a solid player, but here's what I like. It's the receiving core, and it's amazing, really, that for years and years and years, Phil had quality running backs and a quality quarterback. But here now, 30 points scored from his receivers and 10 points from Eric Ebron, who, by the way, Eric Ebron's going to continue scoring those sort of points throughout the course of the season, because they're going to target him, because Matt Stafford's going to focus on him. It's a sort of, and considering that he was so cheap in the draft as well, it's amazing that more people didn't see it. Plus some decent score on special teams and D, and some decent score on a kicker as well. So, despite the fact that Phil does get taken the piss out of, I mean, let's be honest, and I do it too. That team there deserves to score 102 points, and the bench is equally more promising. So there's obviously points from the team. It's so much better than last year. But by this point in the season, they branded what was his team
coming out of the
year.
draft, they were branded.
Yeah, that's it. Quite,
quite.
And now you see 102 points. Whether this is a flash in the pan, I don't know. But there's room for improvement there, and there's room to build. And I just don't think I can see the same thing from Southampton Knowles, I'm afraid. Despite the fact that they scored 99 points, near enough 100. But I think that's probably their ceiling. Yeah,
I mean, you said it. I don't really have anything to add. Good analysis. There you go. That's why we like Chris as the co-host. So, next game then, Fudge Flies against Tom's Tyrants.
Oh, yes.
History of this matchup was not in your favour,
Was
Chris.
not, no.
You were 2-7 entering this game. And unfortunately, as it would turn out, Tom would lose this game and you'd move to 3-7 because you won it narrowly. 98-94.
Narrowly is the word here. However, I'll be critical about my team. My receivers this year haven't turned up. Larry's in an offense that's just
anemic.
It boggles the mind. And Terrell Pryor isn't in one of those offenses. In fact, he's in pretty good passing offense. But Cousins is having a problem, and he just seemingly just haven't got the connection yet, which is a real problem. So yes, and tight end wise, well, don't go there because Tyler Eifert is what Tyler Eifert does, which is.
And you got Jack Doyle.
I have Jack Doyle this week. He's playing the Browns this week, and we'll come to that later. But what I will say is that points on my team will come from somewhere. Whether or not it comes from the special teams, whether it comes from the kicker, which happened this week, I know that I'm not going to score 27 points on both of those every week, but if they don't come from there, they're going to come from one of the 3 running backs that I've got, or indeed if the receivers wake up, or the 2 quarterbacks that I've got that are both pretty good. So I'm feeling pretty good. However, I was a little bit worried because when I went to bed on Sunday night, I see Trevor Siemian.
Yeah.
Trevor Siemian is going nuts.
Not just Trevor Siemian and Jason Witten.
Yes, and Jason Witten. Don't forget Jason Witten. Yeah. People laughed at this pick, and we laughed at this pick too.
Who knew?
But yeah, he's come back. That's it.
The experts again. I think it was CBS I was listening to. They were saying, Will it continue at this rate? Probably not. I think last year he had 3 touchdowns. But there's no doubt that they're passing more. There's no doubt the defense isn't as good, so it's forcing them to pass more.
Yeah.
So maybe he will remain a decent option. Maybe not. I think he's the tight end 1 right now, amazingly.
That's it. He's certainly the healthiest option.
Yeah.
And, with a guy like that, he's got longevity and he knows how to keep himself going. So, and he's going to be a target for Dak this year. So yeah, no, I was worried about that. But what I am worried about for Tom is the fact that his running back core is now decimated. The fact that Terrence West is out. Me. Yes, absolutely.
Except I have Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah, well, this is true. West is out. Rawls isn't doing anything. And you look down the list, Bilal Powell's in the Jets team, which is just dog. Chris Thompson's got him, but again, you can't do it with one. You
kind of like Witten, the rate he's going as well. For a pass catching back, it's good. Don't get me wrong, he's been great. Will it continue or not is another question.
Absolutely. So, and the quarterback situation on his team is not good. Yes, Simeon is proven to be a really handy pickup.
Yeah, and Luck is.
Luck ain't coming back, and Bradford probably ain't coming back either for a while. It's going to be healthy. So I have a real problem with that. But to score 93 points, I think was a pretty good result for him. It should have been more. There are some guys in that team. So again, he's got a problem with some of his receivers. Antonio Brown again. Somebody hasn't. Apart from his week 1 was quality, but this week wasn't so clever, and certainly Mari Cooper hasn't nearly done as well in the red zone as Crabtree. So that's reason for concern. But at the same time, I think that was a good result. Shame about the score. But I think my team's got more potential to go higher, whilst Tom's team is unfortunately going to, I hope, going to be about the same sort of set level this year. But I am contractually obliged to say he's going to win the LOC.
I like that. You kind of tentatively throw water on it, but then at the end, it's like, yeah, he's going to win.
He's going to win. Doesn't matter. All these problems are going to be, by end of the season, while he's in the playoffs and he's going to be beating people down, it's not a problem.
You heard it.
It's only because I'm contractually obliged to do so.
Ixan played Cash for Gold only for the second time ever, which makes sense because Cash for Gold were new last year.
Yeah.
They beat them in their first meeting, but in what is one of the most disappointing, ugly matchups of recent LOC memory. You could have gone to bed instead of watching this one.
Oh, man.
Because Cash for Gold won at 69-67.
This isn't why we turn up and do this. This isn't why. If you turn up and you say, you know what, I'm going to win a game and I'm going to score less than 70 points, but my opponent's going to do exactly the same thing. That doesn't happen here. It doesn't happen. But this week, as fortune would have it, they're playing each other well now. That's it. Any other week, this is a loss for both these teams, and both these teams had terrible weeks with a capital T, by the way. That looks like that. So, yeah, I mean, can we just focus on Ixan first, our reigning champions, by the way? Right, so reigning champions.
Who are now 0-2, my turn.
Absolutely, and are going down very south, very south. Those spreadsheets didn't work this year so far. So what I like, here we go. Let's do the positives first.
Right, we're done with the positives. Let's move on to the next.
I like the fact that Emmanuel Sanders is scoring touchdowns, but he's not going to score every week. I like the fact that Travis Kelce's on that team because they haven't got much else. Otherwise, Blunt, oh dear.
He might be cut.
And big oh dear. And you think about who's going to replace him. Well, is Latavius Murray going to replace him? No. Is CJ Precise going to replace him? No. And then that's it. Then we've got...
To be fair, he's the flex, so maybe a receiver.
Or a receiver. Well, let's have a look here. Who have we got? We got Sammy Watkins. And then after that, Mike Wallace, who scored 7 yards. 7 yards this week.
I'm not sure his top 2 fantasy points in the season total.
I'm not massively sure. But anyway, whatever it is, those receivers are going to have to be used because Jordy Nelson's gone down. And it's debatable whether he's going to be fit enough to play this week. He might be, he might not. We're certainly not be firing on 4 cylinders. Ezekiel has been a major disappointment, maybe because he's got his mind on other things.
Legal. Did he?
Possibly. Allegedly, what happened? Well, it's not allegedly, it did happen.
No, he pulled down a girl's top.
I mean, you know. Who doesn't want to see that, but just not in the middle of a public place. And then Lamar Miller's perennially disappointing anyway, in an offense which is always disappointing. And then Kirk Cousins is just Mr. 5,000 yards. Well, he's going to be Mr. 500 yards this year because, well, that's it. I haven't seen it. There's
I think he's been a slow start, to be fair.
Well, that's it.
So we'll see.
He has the potential to increase the benefit in that team, but not by much. And even if he scores 7 extra points, he scores 20 points, and it's a reputable score. Well, even that's still not enough. Whilst on the other side, you think cash for goal. I think this is probably an off week for them because they've got a few more playmakers.
Yeah.
Matt Ryan scores that's it. They might have won the game, but it wasn't because of him. Ajayi again I like him. Don't get me wrong, but he's injury prone. Dalvin Cook.
Better weeks are out, I think.
Yeah, that's it. And
he's playing with Case Keenum.
That's his major issue, is that I think Bradford does reinvigorate that offense, whilst Case Keenum doesn't reinvigorate anything apart from
Kimberly Keenum.
Well, yes, and DST's interception statistics. Yes, and then we comes to the receivers here. Well, we've got Golden Tate, who really should be doing better. We've got Doug Baldwin, who really should be doing better, and Hunter Henry, who probably is about right for the week he's done.
Yeah.
So I think now Antonio Gates has got his career-defining touchdown. I think we're probably going to see a few more passes to him. However, it is an ugly game. I think not the least to be said about this. There's not a great deal to talk about. I think that honestly to take this as a lucky win, and Ben, sorry mate.
Moving on swiftly then, ADRZ played Pakistan in our final matchup of last week. And ADRZ were 3-0 entering this game. Never lost to Pakistan. But that changed this week, where Pakistan won a close-ish game, pretty close, 101-93.
Right, okay, so my hatred for auto draft teams continues. So
probably the best one we've seen, though.
Absolutely. Well, it's not that bad, but they still lost this week, which is probably a relief, because if auto draft teams keep winning, then why would anyone draft it themselves? Is the honest answer. So Pakistan wins. Now this is good. Now, what do I like about this? Well, I like the fact that Derek Carr was a sneaky pickup.
Very good.
That was quality. I mean, to be fair, no one saw this coming. Derek Carr, he has had a bumper season so far. I think will continue to do so. They seem to like to throw the ball. Lynch is there as a bit of an option in case Derek Carr and his receivers gets a little bit tired. But I think that this year that Oakland really do have a real chance at something. I think they look good. I mean, yes, they're playing the Jets, but this week,
even in week 1 against unfortunately your team,
they did look good there as well, and the Titans are no mugs. So yeah, that's what I like. I like the fact that he's got some receivers there that are going to perform, even if some of them didn't this week. Say Chris Hogan did this week. Could be Michael Thomas next week. It could be Julio the week.
Yeah, again, another team where the top 2 receivers have not really come out of the gate firing.
Absolutely, yeah, quite. So we're going to see it. Michael Thomas really hasn't shown the form that we expect of someone like with his kind of quality. And then again, we got Rudolph as tight end again, suffering from QB problems, but that's not going to be forever. But on the other side, I don't know about this. Running backs here are a problem for ADRZ. They really are a problem.
Yeah, and he's not got any money to address the situation.
Absolutely,
which is the worst thing.
Now, Javorius Allen's on the bench. Now, I think that he looked great this week. Whether or not he keep that up every week, I don't really know. We'll certainly find out in the weeks to come. However, Crowell, picked 3rd round.
Yeah, he's been a disappointment, I think it's fair to say.
So is that whole offense, and that's the problem with there, is that he was an interesting pick at the time on auto, of course. But no, I don't think he's going to perform quite well. Gronk scored 17 points, which he's not going to every week. There's too many mouths to feed there. Russell Wilson, I bet will have better weeks. But even so, I worry when someone like Russell Wilson scoring only 1 touchdown and 198 yards against San Francisco's D.
Most of them rushing, might add. I don't think he topped 100 passing.
No, it's absolutely. I got yeah. So that's the problem. And Mike Gillisley again, he's going to get touchdowns.
He's touchdown or bust almost.
Absolutely.
I think, again, similar with the receivers, lots of mouths to feed. Running backs also a lot of mouths to feed as well.
There's very little yardage there. So look, ADRZ will have better weeks, not much better weeks. Don't get me wrong. I think this is probably about where they're going to top out. Pakistan, on the other hand, they've got a bit more potential in that team, I think. And it was a good win for them against, what is no slouch? I mean, don't get me wrong, ADRZ are a former champion, so
Yeah.
you can beat a former champion, you're doing well.
And he's paying attention. Even though he may have betted all his money back.
Yes,
without knowingly knowing that the budget was for the season, he stuck with it. I think Javoris Irons should be okay. Kenny Lane, Cam Williams, judgment's still out on them, but hey ho.
Yeah.
So
100%.
there you go. That was last week's matchup. So we'll take a quick pit stop at the power rankings and then we'll go on to the next week's game. So at the top we have Bedunators, who moved up from spot 2 to spot 1. They started the season in spot 6, so a nice rise for them. Forge Flyers, they're up to spot 2. Again, they've been climbing steadily for the last few weeks. They're up from 3. Tanky Matagface made a precipitous leap up from 11 to 3.
I would say so as well. I would say they're probably the star performer, my star performer of the week.
Bare Necessities came up from 9 to 4. ADRZ is the first faller in here. They dropped from 4 to 5. Pakistan, he hopped up 1-2 from 7 to 6. Dream Team, however, dropped all the way from 1 to 7. Tom's Torrance, they continue a slow incline up. They have gone from 12 to 10, now 10 to 8. Cash for Gold, they dropped from 5 to 9. Southampton Normals, they jump up a couple with the whole Brady or bust tactic. They go from 12 to 10. Ixan, they're currently 11, down from 6. And Gridiron Gang is now at 12.
That's probably fair enough. Yeah. Yes.
I think it's the classic, I'm going to put you at the bottom. I've done this before with other teams, not just my own. I'll put you at the bottom until I see something, and then if it looks okay, I'll move it back up.
I think you have to. I think that's pretty fair.
It's kind of what I did with Tom, exactly what I did with Tom at the start of the season, actually. You can go take that out if you want.
I see a technical. I'll be right back.
It's okay. So, yeah, I did the same thing with Tom. Where at the start of the season, he had a lot of question marks around not having luck. Having a few risky options, but he's steadily climbed. Ross was also at the bottom for a week, but as we've seen with Brady or bust, I think he's just I've seen enough to say that okay, you're not going to be quite the worst. Brady's should give you a relatively good floor each week, so that's enough to bump you up a bit. So those are your power rankings. As Chris said, he's pretty much happy with that. So I guess not really much to discuss with this. So we'll just move straight on to next week's games. So, next week is obviously the Wembley week. Actually, before that, we'll just take a quick dip into the standings just to show you where everything is, because the divisions are looking quite interesting at the moment, even in the early season. So, in the Southampton division, at the top we have Forge Flyers at 2-0, Detonators are at 1-1, the Dream Team also joining them 1-1, and Southampton Knowles 0-2. Portsmouth division, we have 3 2-0 teams in the following order: Ben Assisties, Pakistan, and Cash for Gold. The Gridiron Gang bring up the rear at 0-2. Right at the bottom in the Winchester division, we have Tom Sarrance at 1-1, Tanky McTankface at 1-1, and then ADRZ and Ixan at 0-2. So it's quite interesting things going on. As we've seen, 2-0 does not necessarily mean anything. 0-2 doesn't mean anything either. But this year, the Waves aren't going to play as much a role for the bottom teams as much as come and take a seat, it's fine. We okay?
Sort of.
What's up?
Sort of. That's it.
We can finish up pretty swiftly if we need to.
We do.
Okay, so
unfortunately.
How long we got?
Something not long at all.
Right, we'll go whistle stop. Next week games, we'll just say who we like to win and why. So first of all, we have. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So we're going to pick the teams really quickly and I'm going to get out of here. So
no, it's nothing. Nothing personal.
No.
This is.
It's Lux hates me, and if she knows that no, it's not that. Right, so our games then we have what I picked as the game of the week: Ben Assisties versus Cash for Gold. So both these teams are 2-0. Entering the games, this is the marquee matchup of the week. One of these is going to be the 3-0, potentially the only 3-0 team. Who you like in this game?
Ben Assisties.
I said Ben Assisties too, because they've got that really fivefold stack of Green Bay players playing Cincinnati who have not looked good so far.
No.
So I think Cash for Gold are an okay team, but yeah, I agree. They're not going to be able to match that. Next we have Gridiron Gang against Pakistan. Who you got?
Pakistan.
I'm going to go with Pakistan 2. Based on recent trends, I usually back my own team, but I'm not so ignorant this time as to just blindly say my team. So we'll go Pakistan, though. My team might make it competitive. We'll have to see. All right, next up, Forge Flies against Southampton Owls. Who you got?
Forge Flies.
I have Forge Flies too, because Southampton Owls are firmly Brady and bust. Until we see something else from the bust category, I think you're going to have to pick against them nearly every week. On top of that, Forge Flies are pretty damn good. Next game, Bedetonators against the Dream Team. Who you got?
Bedetonators.
I have Bedetonators too, because I think we're both aligned. Very good team. Dream Team has a lot of question marks they need answered. We've got two more. Tanky with Tankfist against ADRZ. Who you got?
Tanky with Tankface. I'm going for them.
I'm going to go with them as well, because I think they've got a slightly stronger roster. Ixan against Tom's Tyrants. Last one. Who you got? God, this is a horrible matchup.
Tom's Tyrants. I'm going with Tom's Tyrants.
Yeah, I'm going to go with them as well. They've got their issues. They grabbed Chris Johnson. They've got that amazing trio of receivers. I think that's going to be enough to see them through. So that is our podcast. Apologies for the swift ending.
I'm so sorry about that.
We were going pretty long anyway, so
yeah.
Our fault for talking so much about last week's matchups, partially. But wish you best of luck this weekend. Enjoy the Wembley games if you're going. You're welcome over to mine when we get back. So good luck on Sunday. We'll see you next week.
Take care.
Bye.
See you now.